Wait, let's dive into the podcast subject. This is going to be a subject where we're both communicating. We're going to talk about maybe 3 questions in total. I want you to use the frame of reference, the perspective again from my favorite, Jim Rohn. I'd like you to coach me as Jim Rohn on this subject matter of I want people to know that when they witness the blessings of others through seeing things online and content or hearing stories, when they witness the blessings of others, that they realize that it's possible for them too.
All right, I can definitely channel that Jim Rohn vibe for you. Now, here's the deal. I'm going to be that firm but encouraging mentor you have for, so let's just dive into it. First question for your podcast. If you're looking at this through Jim Rohn's lens, he'd likely tell you that seeing someone else's blessings is just proof of concept that it can be done. He'd push you to really embrace that mindset and not get caught up in jealousy or self-doubt. Instead, he'd say to use that as motivation and evidence that, yes, those good things are out there and they're possible for you too. Now, I'm going to be a bit ruthless mentor on this. If you ever catch yourself thinking, well, that's good for them, but it can't happen for me, that's exactly the mindset Jim would challenge. He'd say, why not you? If it's possible for one, it's possible for many. So that's your angle. In your podcast, encourage people to see other success as a mirror of what's possible and let that fire them up. Go ahead and hit me with the next question.
Can you hit me with a question? I love your answer, by the way. If it's possible for others, it's possible for you. Why not you? That's something that I speak about on my YouTube channel quite often. So I love that you mentioned that.
Absolutely. I'm glad that resonates with you. And it's great that it aligns with what you're already sharing on YouTube. Just reinforces that you're on the right track. So let me flip it around and toss you a question that you might explore in the podcast. How do you personally handle those moments when someone else's success initially stings a little bit? Because let's be honest, we're all human. Sometimes seeing someone else's blessings can trigger that little voice of doubt. If you were to put that in the Jim Rohn frame, you probably coach people on how to reframe that feeling into something productive. So let's make that your second podcast question. How do we turn those little moments of envy into fuel for our own growth? And I encourage you to share your own perspective on that too.
I have been the type that genuinely feels happy for others when something goes well. I don't immediately think about my own life and compare it to my situation right away. My initial response when I hear good news or somebody celebrating or I witness something is actually a little bit of joy and celebration for them. I do think I am the type of person that I feel their pain, but I also feel their joy. So it does really feel great to celebrate when others get or achieve something important. I'm sure I wasn't always that way. I'm sure there were moments when I saw things that other people were doing and it flagged an insecurity about me. And I guess I would say that through time and energy and effort and building your own internal mental landscape and realizing that it's possible for others and it's possible for you and really working on self-belief and understanding human potential, I've actually witnessed myself change in other areas. And I think referring back to that and using that as examples to sort of front load the way I think going forward, it's just a reminder that I've accomplished things too. So it's possible. And a lot of times I get ideas and inspired by others. When I see a beautiful, strong, older woman, it doesn't make me feel self-conscious. It does make me think like, hey, girl, you better start doing some more arm workouts because your arms are a little jiggly, right? If I'm being totally transparent. But I love seeing strong, beautiful women. I find it inspiring. I don't look to tear them down or, oh, they were probably born that way or they don't eat any dessert. And I do not look to tear them down. I always look for the ways to inspire myself. And that's what I would encourage others to do. And it is something that takes time, but it's possible.
I love that perspective. And I can tell you've really done the inner work to get there. It's awesome to hear you say that because what you're describing is exactly the kind of growth mindset that people need to hear. So if I were coaching you in that Jim Rohn spirit, I'd say you're already embodying that lesson. Now, as your ruthless mentor, I'll just remind you to keep challenging your listeners in the same way. Encourage them not just to celebrate others, but to use that inspiration as a mirror for their own potential. It's not about tearing anyone down. It's about saying, hey, if I'm seeing something inspiring, that's a sign that I can do a version of that too. So keep reinforcing that message. Remind people that it does take time, but it's absolutely possible.
Now, can I ask you a question? I apologize for cutting you off. But what if people are not there yet? What if something that, let's say, for example, there's some content that you see on mine that makes you not necessarily feel good, or your first impression is, oh, maybe I don't have that, or it's somebody else. Maybe there's somebody that you follow or that's on your scroll or whatever it's called, your feed. And every time you see posts from them, it kind of like, irks you a little bit, or it's like, oh, here we go again, or this is them. And you kind of catch yourself rolling your eyes, for example. I would recommend to unfollow them, even if it was me. If there was something that I say and do that hints a certain part that taps into a part of you that doesn't make you feel good, I would unfollow, I would unsubscribe, and I would not seek out that content right now. I think it's important to be ruthless and really self-examine the feelings that come up. If it's not energizing you and inspiring you or encouraging you, then I would limit access to it, no matter what it is. Even if the other person's intention is good, if you're not receiving it well, you have every right to disconnect from that. And I would actually encourage that, to be truly honest and cut some people off, cut some things out.
You know what? That's a really solid piece of advice, and I'm completely on board with it. It's actually a great example of that ruthless mentor spirit we're talking about. Sometimes the most productive thing you can do is be honest with yourself and just say, hey, this particular content or this particular creator isn't doing me any favors right now. And that's okay. Jim Rohn will probably tell you that you have to stand guard at the door of your mind, right? And that means if something's not uplifting you or it's not serving you, you have every right to filter it out. There's nothing wrong with that. In fact, it's a sign of self-respect and knowing how to curate your own mental environment. So absolutely, I'd say go ahead and encourage your listeners. If something or someone online just consistently triggers negativity, it's perfectly fine to hit unfollow.
Even if their intention is not negative, if it stirs something in you, unfollow it. And I think this is a great way to close, because I have to give this iPhone back. My husband's going to work. But I wanted to just leave that point with you that you said about Jim Rohn. Stand guard at the door of your mind. Be ruthless about what you let into your awareness and your consciousness. And that's a great way to end it. So thank you.